Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What we're seeing right now is something that could really shift the landscape of the NFC West, and it's all centered around a potential trade that has Seahawks fans buzzing. According to Adam Schefter, there's a serious buzz about the Seahawks potentially acquiring Cleveland Browns guard Joel Bitonio. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is this such a big deal? Well, first, let's take a step back and appreciate who Joel Bitonio is. This guy isn't just any lineman. He's a 34-year-old veteran, a Nevada stalwart, and a 6-time Pro Bowler. That's right, 6 trips to the All-Star game, and he's still playing at a high level. His experience, his consistency, his intelligence on the line, these are qualities that a team like the Seahawks desperately need to bolster their offensive line, especially as they push toward the playoff stretch. But what makes this possible trade even more compelling is the current state of the Seahawks' offensive line. Seattle's unit is struggling a bit this season, giving up 19 sacks in just 6 games, which places them 22nd in the league in sacks allowed. That's a concern, especially when you consider how much the Seahawks want to keep Geno Smith protected and allow their offense to thrive. The offensive line has been a work in progress, and while it's not all on the players, adding someone like Bitonio could be a game changer. His PFF grade for 2025 is around 84, putting him in the top 30 interior linemen in the league. For a team like Seattle, that's exactly the kind of stability they need in the trenches. Now, let's talk about the specifics of this potential trade. Schefter mentioned that the Seahawks might send a conditional 5th-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft to Cleveland. It's a relatively low-cost move for a player of Bitonio's caliber, especially considering that he's an interior anchor who excels in both run blocking and pass protection. At 6'4" and 320 pounds, he's a formidable presence on the line, and his ability to stabilize the interior could help reduce the pressure on the quarterback, which has been a concern this season. Remember, Darnold's time to throw has increased from 2.51 seconds to about 2.8 seconds, and while that may not sound like much, it can make a huge difference in the long run. The Seahawks are looking to improve their pass protection by about 15%, and adding Bitonio could help them reach that goal. Now, let's not forget the context of the Browns' situation. Cleveland is currently 2-4, and after a series of injuries on their defensive line, they're looking to sell. Their overall record isn't great, and with Deshaun Watson's rating sitting at 84, they're clearly in a rebuild, or at least in a phase where they're willing to make moves to reset their roster. The Browns have allowed a total of 24 sacks this season, and their offensive line grades are hovering around 62.4, which isn't exactly stellar. So moving Bitonio might be a way for Cleveland to recoup some draft capital and rebuild their depth along the line. Meanwhile, for Seattle, this isn't just about filling a gap. It's about elevating the entire offensive front. Their run game, which has been surging lately, could see a nice boost with Bitonio's +1.0 EPA per block in zone runs. His ability to execute zone schemes and anchor in the middle can open up lanes for the running backs and improve the overall efficiency of the offense. Plus, his experience and leadership are invaluable, especially as the team navigates the playoff push. The Seahawks are currently sitting at a 3-3 record, and every game counts. Improving their protection and run-blocking efficiency can make the difference in crucial late-game situations. And it's not just about the current season. The Seahawks have shown an eye for strategic moves that set them up for the future. The addition of a veteran like Bitonio could be seen as a signal that they're serious about their Super Bowl aspirations and are willing to make bold moves to accelerate their competitiveness. It's a move that could pay dividends not just this year, but for years to come, especially if he stabilizes the interior and helps protect their young quarterback, or even Darnold if he continues to be a key part of the offense. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for the Seahawks' overall strategy. They've been a team that's pretty good at adapting, and adding a player like Bitonio would align perfectly with their approach of building a solid, versatile offensive line. Their pass blocking has seen some improvements, with a 15% increase to 66% in their pass block win rate. but there's always room for more. Their third down protection has gone up by 13%, now sitting at 41. 2%, which is decent but needs to improve further if they want to make a real run deep into the playoffs. Bringing in someone with Bitonio's experience and skill set could push those numbers even higher, giving Geno Smith more time to operate and giving the running game more room to breathe. And speaking of the playoffs, the betting odds tell us a lot about how much the sportsbooks believe in this team's potential. The Seahawks' Super Bowl odds have shifted quite a bit this season, from plus 4,500 early on to plus 2,500 now. That's a notable jump, reflecting the belief that they're a team capable of making a significant postseason push. If they add Bitonio, that number could come down even further, especially if he helps stabilize the line and allows the offense to operate at a higher level. In fact, some projections suggest that his addition could boost the Seahawks' chances of winning in the trenches by as much as 20%, which is huge when you consider how important the line is to overall team success. But it's not just about the current season. The move also echoes the Seahawks' long-term vision. They've been building a roster that emphasizes versatility and experience along the offensive line, and acquiring a veteran like Bitonio fits perfectly into that puzzle. He's known for his ability to excel in zone runs, which is a staple of Seattle's rushing attack, and his +1.0 EPA per block indicates he's a reliable force in the middle of the line. His presence could also inspire the younger linemen to elevate their game, creating a ripple effect of improvement across the entire unit. Now, let's take a moment to appreciate what this means for the Seahawks' identity. Seattle has always been a team that values toughness, resilience, and smart football. Bringing in a player like Bitonio not only boosts their line, but also sends a message to the rest of the league that they're serious about contending now. The Seahawks have been a team with a strong foundation, and this move could be the final piece they need to truly compete for a Super Bowl, perhaps even making a push for that elusive Lombardi trophy in the coming months. And of course, we have to keep an eye on how this impacts the division. The NFC West has been fiercely competitive this year, with teams like San Francisco and the Los Angeles Rams also vying for supremacy. If Seattle manages to upgrade their offensive line significantly, it could give them the edge they need to challenge the division leaders more effectively. A stronger line means more control of the clock, fewer turnovers, and a more balanced attack, elements that are critical in close division games. Plus, it could shift the power dynamic in the NFC West, making Seattle a team that no longer just competes but truly contends. So what are the next steps? Well, the trade isn't finalized yet, but if it happens, it could come within the next few days. The Seahawks are known for making shrewd moves, and acquiring a player of Bitonio's caliber at a relatively low draft cost makes sense from a strategic standpoint. It's a move that could be a game changer, especially if he integrates smoothly into the team's scheme and locker room. The coaching staff, led by Pete Carroll, always emphasizes the importance of the trenches, and this kind of addition fits perfectly with that philosophy. Imagine the impact on the field, Darnold getting more time to read the field, the run game pushing forward with more authority, and the offensive line standing tall in critical moments. It's a scenario that could elevate the Seahawks from a good team to a true playoff contender, maybe even a dark horse for a deep postseason run. And let's not forget, with the right pieces, Seattle's defense can tighten up even more, creating a complete team that's hard to beat. In the bigger picture, this potential move also shows the Seahawks' commitment to winning now. They've been patient, developing their young talent, but they're also willing to make bold moves to accelerate their success. The addition of Bitonio could be a signal to their rivals that the Seahawks are not just content to participate, they want to dominate. The NFC West is becoming increasingly competitive, and this kind of strategic trade could be what finally puts Seattle over the top. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential acquisition of Joel Bitonio? Do you think it's the move that can finally push the Seahawks into serious Super Bowl contention? Or are there concerns about how he'll fit into the team's scheme and locker room? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. We're in this together, and I can't wait to see how this story unfolds. Thanks for being here, and as always, go Seahawks.